I don't know why I'm standing. Well, I'm making hot dogs in a minute. Go and have a look. Yeah. Ha. So, part two. Well, I said in part two I was going to talk more about the games and whatnot. I shouldn't get a shit camera like that. I need to keep an eye on dogs. But I just want to touch a bit more. Stick them in the microwave. I'm making hot dogs, man. You don't make it in the microwave, do you? No. I literally normally. What's going on, guys? Welcome back. Just having a fag after my juicy hot dogs. I only managed 2 of them though. That's bad. That's such a waste of food as well. I hate wasting food. You know what I mean? Because it's money in it. Money going straight into the bin. But this is what happens. You know, the woman's on holiday. I've been cooking, you know, for myself. I don't normally cook at all, so you have to pardon the nephews and nieces, in-laws outside making a riot in the garden as per usual. Yeah, so you know, I've been using the oven, the stove, the microwave, the works, you know what I mean. It's been alright though, I guess. But anyway, on the trading side of things, you know, I guess it just depends how much of a factor people will personally think it will be for them, you know what I'm saying. Because I mean, you know, as I said in the previous part, in the first part, it's like, you know, I do trade, I do, you know, all things when it comes to buying and selling games. You know, I buy, sell, trade, rent. So you know, what is there going to be left to do on the Microsoft side of things? But again, you know, that's not the be all and end all, because the quality of games for me is definitely on Microsoft side of things, and I guess that's what's got to come first. You know what I mean? I don't want to go and buy a PlayStation 4 just because I'll be able to trade games in. You know what I mean? I personally find that Microsoft does offer a very high quality of games. You know what I'm saying? And that's what matters first. So for me, that's probably why I will stick with Xbox. You know what I'm saying? So in terms of the games, you know, Microsoft, they started off with Metal Gear Solid, Metal Gear Solid 5, which was pretty big. Yeah, Metal Gear Solid 5, which is always big. Metal Gear Solid is big. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, it looked very impressive. It had kind of a touch of Assassin's Creed in there. It had an Assassin's Creed type of vibe. Obviously, we all realised it was Snake straight away, though. Obviously, they're aiming to be more of an open world, more free roaming and whatnot, which will be good. But I liked Metal Gear Solid for how it was back in the day. Well, like Metal Gear Solid 2, Metal Gear Solid 1 on the PlayStation 1. You know, obviously the buildings and you know, the VR training missions and stuff like that. When I played Metal Gear Solid 3, Snake Eater, excuse me, it was alright. I didn't like it as much as the other ones. I thought the whole jungle, you know, eating snakes and the whole, I didn't like it as much. You know what I mean? I preferred, you know, the buildings, the solid cover, and then the more modern element to the game. I mean, the upcoming Metal Gear Solid doesn't look to be historic or anything like that, or like based in a previous time or anything like that. But I don't know. I mean, free roam would be good, obviously, but I did prefer more. I did actually prefer the more linear approach. That's what the word is. So we'll see when more media gets released for that one. What else do we have? Assassin's Creed 4. I know that's not exactly a new announcement, but it has started to grow on me a bit more, to be fair, because I love what I've played of the Assassin's Creed franchise so far. I've only played 1 and 2, and both were bangers. I've got Brotherhood, Revelations and 3 yet to play, so I've yet to experience the multiplayer side of things. 95% chances I'll probably have to boost it anyway, so it might not necessarily ruin the experience for me, you know what I'm saying? But the story side of things, it's always been amazing. I love the gameplay, I love the climbing, the combat, the stealth and all that kind of jazz, so it does look interesting. And again, Assassin's Creed 4 looks to be going more down the road of even more free roaming, and I think a lot of games are going down the more open world and stuff, because you think of The Division, Watch Dogs, The Crew, obviously GTA 5 is the one for free roaming, and those games that I just mentioned, obviously they're ones that have also caught my eye. Well, first of all, from the Xbox 360 side of things, we still got GTA 5, Splinter Cell, Blacklist, Lost Planet 3. Got those games to check out. But then when they moved on to the Xbox One side of things, they're definitely going more towards open world, ongoing worlds, immersive and all those fancy words we're using, big RPG style games, which, I was saying to Half-Life, like, it could be, it could go either way, or it could have a mix of very good and very bad features, because I'm very interested to see how exactly these ongoing, persistent worlds that can change, constantly for different players and whatnot. How exactly is it going to work? So, let's say we've got The Division, for example. That was quite an attractive reveal at the press conference. So it's like, I was watching the trailer, and there was 2 of them, obviously co-op style. They were walking through New York, and it looked good. It looked fantastic. Visually it looked sexy as hell, and there was stuff going on. A couple of pedestrians walking past. These little things catch your eye, and they were heading towards a police station. So let's say that's me and Half-Life, yeah, walking down the street. Then the female character came from from the junction. Like, where she just come from? You know what I'm saying? What was she doing before they all joined up together? And that was the woman who was playing this character. Pretend it wasn't at the events, to say it's a normal day or whatever. What was she? Just free roaming? Was she doing other activities? Was she doing a main story mission in her save? You know what I mean? Like, how, I don't know how fluid is it going to be for people to just drop in and out of each other's multiplayer lobbies? You know what I'm saying? Is it really just going to be this one world where people will be doing their own thing, but can just easily join into other people's worlds like this? And is it going to be separate worlds? You know, there's a lot of questions that can spiral from this thing when you're not entirely sure how exactly it's going to work, because it's like I was saying to Arth, the closest I've been to what seems to be the new trend at the minute of these open worlds and whatnot is GTA 4, because in that we had multiplayer free roam, you know what I'm saying, but obviously it was separate free roam lobbies. I think you could only have 12 people maximum in one lobby, so obviously at that point another, you know, if anyone else wanted to join free roam, they'd be into another lobby, and then X amount of people could join that, and so on and so on. And I didn't really mingle in the free roam a lot. It was a good idea. It was fun for 20 minutes, half hour, because there wasn't entirely a lot people could do. The most people that I saw in free roam just messing around at the airport, really, you know, driving fast cars, jumping off ramps, doing daft stuff in helicopters and shit like that. There wasn't necessarily any co-op missions, any activities. I mean, was the police even a factor in free roam? It's to me, it's like I was saying, I'm just hoping it's not going to be just a massive playground with loads of randoms in, because it's going to be like, is it going to be an open world for just you and your friends? Is it going to be accessible by randoms? You know, there's a lot of questions. It's probably going to be a good thing when it does get going, because there is a lot of you know, there's a lot of stuff connected to you know, cloud powered stuff now, so everything will probably be quite seamless, you know what I'm saying, because the crew give a better example of this whole kind of vibe, because when they showed that trailer off, that gameplay off, it was like they showed the first player, he was driving around in New York doing his thing, and then the next player was in Miami, the next player was in Houston, you know what I mean? And when you start thinking about, you know, that kind of stuff, it's like, oh, that's sick, you could be over on the other side of the country doing this and that, and it's quite good. But I am interested to see more details regarding all this open world and connectivity stuff, you know what I mean? Getting back to the games, I got majorly sidetracked there. Obviously, Watch Dogs is looking fantastic. It always has with every piece of media that's been released for it so far. So I'll be interested to play that one. The Division itself looked really good. A lot of the games as well look like they offered pretty sweet co-op as well, which is a bonus as standard. You know what I mean? That co-op's always a beautiful thing to have. What else do we have? Titan. Oh god, Titanfall. I know I said something stupid then. That looks pretty slick as well, actually. The whole, you know, agility of the character, especially from the first person perspective as well. Jumping in mechs and stuff like that. And what they did show of that game was quite impressive. It blagged me in a way, because the way it led up to the main part of the gameplay, it looked like he was about to play a single player mission, but then he was like capturing, well, not flags but areas, trying to defend areas, and I was like, shit, is this an actual multiplayer mod? Is he playing against other people, or is this like a bot setup multiplayer match? But either way, it looked really impressive, and I loved the way, I can't remember what exactly the situation was, but he was on a roof or something, he jumped up to a roof, and then he's like running alongside a billboard, jumps off it onto another billboard, continues to run on that, lands on the roof, does some crazy flank. I mean, I like flanking, you know what I'm saying, so that was big. But the one that did it for me was Battlefield 4 by far. As soon as I seen that trailer, I was going crazy. The way, obviously straight away, the 64 players, that is massive, because like I was saying to Half-Life again, we've always been happy in most of the multiplayer games we played. Obviously for me it started out with Gears of War 1, and that was 4 on 4, you know what I'm saying. But from the gear side of things, it was just the brutality of that game itself. You know, Warzone was the popular game mode. 4v4, you die, you're out. You wait till the next round. And party chat wasn't a thing then either as well. It was game chats. Once you was dead, you couldn't talk to your team members who were still alive. So it was brutal. I loved it. Battlefield games has always been 12 on 12. Call of Duty, 6 on 6 I think it was. Well, they had the lag wars. They were just shit. But you know, the point I'm getting at is, well, let's say Battlefield 3, 12 on 12, and we still loved the hell out of that game and played the life out of it, you know what I'm saying? Even though PC gamers have already been enjoying 32 versus 32 for donkeys, you know what I'm saying? We still, you know what I mean, thoroughly enjoyed ourselves with Battlefield 3, so now we're getting the 64 player treatment, and it's Battlefield, man. And oh, the unique things that can happen in Battlefield is so crazy. Even 12v12 matches. For those of you who followed me since day one, when I started doing the Battlefield stuff, you know, you've seen how much video footage I've got, and good video footage I've got from Battlefield 3 as a 12v12 game. So 32 versus 32. That's mind blowing. Honestly, Battlefield 4 is a type of game you could buy an Xbox One and just buy Battlefield 4 and you'd be entertained for years. No shit, seriously. People already know, you know what I'm saying, but if you don't know, get to know. Battlefield 4 is just going to be massive, and the gameplay that it showed wasn't disappointing either. But besides the tank falling through the road, man, fucking hell, that's going to be me, that. Because I love my tanks. You know what I'm saying? So if they're going to be blowing me up from underneath the road, I'm fucked. You know, choppers, that's what I loved, you know what I mean? And they were running around the road and the chopper come, the guy shooting outside a chopper, and then they went up the lift in the building, and that's what blew my mind. They went up to the top of the skyscraper. Gorgeous view as well, gorgeous visuals, and then they wiped those guys out, and then as standard they jumped out of the building, parachuted down, and then he looks back at the building and the building collapsed. The skyscraper collapsed. You know what I mean? All them solid structures and mechanics they would have had in that building, and they just tore it down. I was like, wow. Battlefield 4, you know what I mean? That has been the definite tip for me that's like pushed me over the fence to eventually get an Xbox One. I mean, I'm going to see what my finances are like at the time, but I probably will get an Xbox One. You know, no disrespect to you Sony guys, you know what I mean? I mean, Sony fans are going to be very pleased with what they saw, but I just, fair enough, you know what I mean, they're going to be able to trade games in and they don't have to be online 24 hours and all that kind of stuff, but I just think the quality of games is still on Microsoft's side of things, to be fair, you know what I'm saying. But you know, that's just my opinion. Let me know what you guys think of E3 as a whole. I mean, you know, it's not even over, to be fair. There's still going to be a lot of press conferences, Q&As, you know, more trailers, plenty more news to come from it, but obviously the main, you know, parts of E3 are done with now. So, you know what I mean, let me know what you guys think. And obviously, you know, leading up to these new console releases, what's going to be the plan for me personally on the YouTube side of things? Well, I've still got Grid 2, obviously. I've completed it, but I'm still going to keep hold of it because I want to obviously play more multiplayer with my friends and whatnot. I still got some more videos I want to do from that, more episodes, focusing on vehicles, race types and whatnot. So you can expect to see more footage from that, and obviously there could be DLC to come with that as well. With that completed though, I'm going to be carrying on with my progress in Black Ops 2. There's probably not going to be any video footage from that, to be honest. What else have we got? Obviously, got to do some videos for GTA 5 when that comes out. I'm hoping to get some videos up snappy for Blacklist and Lost Planet 3. I think I do have the weekends off for those games when they come out, so hopefully I can get something going pretty good for those games. Splinter it Cell Blacklist as well, that's got a lot of potential for videos. And the Spies vs Mercs game mode will be making a return in that game as well, so that's going to be fun. And that's about it really. Arcade side of things, I've just finished Zombie Apocalypse Never Die Alone. That long ass achievement from the DLC where you actually get 10,000 kills. Oh, that is so mind numbing and boring. That's a shit achievement, that. But that's done and dusted now anyway, so I will be moving on to my next arcade title, and I don't know what to start. I'm thinking, well, I did continue with Happy Wars, but Happy Wars is shit. It's so shit. But I do need to get that completed, so I will be doing that. But in terms of starting a fresh arcade game, it's either going to be Super Meat Boy, Missplosion Man, or Serious Sam Double DXL. I'm thinking Missplosion Man's probably the best out of those three, so I might save that till last. I'm thinking maybe Super Meat Boy. Not saying it's worse than Serious Sam Double DXL, but I think I'm going to start that first. Super Meat Boy, Serious Sam, and then Missplosion Man. Could be some video footage to come from them. Super Meat Boy will probably make for some funny video footage, but won't generate a lot of views. Depends how I feel about the game. If I enjoy it, I might get some clips from it, you know how it is. But anyway, nowadays, stay tuned to my YouTube for more upcoming content. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to rate if you haven't. Likes or dislikes, any will be much appreciated. Subscribe if you haven't. Always doing different stuff on this channel, not necessarily just hammering it with guides. It's all about gaming as a whole, you know what I'm saying. And thanks for watching again, so I'll speak to you all soon.